Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now this might not interest most of you, but I think it's kind of important, and this is what I use to protect my noggin. I have no idea what helmet it is. I have no idea what the helmet cover is. I had this off a buddy of mine who was selling it like probably more than 10 years ago, and the reason why I bought it off him, because at the time I hadn't seen many helmets use these type of fabric covers. And I was like, super cool that is. He wanted 60 quid for it, so I bought it. And I've changed out the pads and other things over the time. It's not the most agile. You find you struggle to look up in this because, you know, you'll sort of bottom the helmet out in the back of your neck. So mobility-wise, it's not very good. Comfort, it's quite heavy. And it sits weird on my head. You know, the straps have seen better days. I think one of them's held on by like electrical tape. But that's been my lid for well over a decade. It served its purpose, but I thought perhaps it's about time. You know, I'm using cameras and I'm using night vision. Perhaps it's about time that I upgrade this or replace it with something a little bit better without going stupid on the price. Now, you know, you could go out and buy a very nice helmet for about £2,000. It's not something that I want to do because I don't generally wear them all that often. So the helmet that I'm going to be replacing it with is an airsoft helmet. So it's from an airsoft company, but it's one that many people use, and it's the PTS MTEK Flux. So this is like an airsoft version of the MTEK helmet, and this is what we're going to be doing now. A bit of foreshadowing here. The helmet cover that I bought for this, I think, was more expensive than the helmet itself. And I have opened this up, so it's normally in this bag. I just like to check whenever I get stuff in the post. I just like to check that everything's there. So I'll pull the helmet out, get rid of the box, and let's take a look. So this is the MTEK helmet, or the MTEK Flux from PTS. You can see in terms of size, it might not seem it on camera, but it's a little bit shorter in terms of length from back to front. We've got a nice cutout at the back here, which supposedly helps the helmet not bottom out on your neck, and is meant to give you more mobility. Now, me playing around with this, I did quickly put it on when I got it in the post. The pads that it come with are quite firm. Now, the pads I have in my other one, they're not ideal, but they are really, really soft. So I'm not sure if there are better options for this. That being said, I think with it being more firm, it's probably going to secure it a little bit better on my head. It's a very nice construction. It is, you know, a polymer. It's not ballistically rated or anything like that. You can actually flex it a little bit, so it is nice and lightweight. You've got rails and stuff on the side, which they've got like almost M-lock style slots. You've got clips there to clip goggles or face masks or anything in like that. Not sure what clips those are. When it comes to helmets, I'm not as clued up as most people out there. But we do have an MVG mount, which we can put, you know, night vision on, cameras, anything like that. And apart from that, it's pretty straightforward. You know, the straps that it comes with are very nice. You've got these quick detach or these quick release adjusters. You can adjust it up or down. It's really nice and easy to do even when you're wearing the helmet, and you can clip those back in place and it holds securely. In the box with it, we do get a few extra pieces. So we get some extra pads. Not entirely sure what these are for. They're meant to be like comfort pads or something, or second layer pads. First layer, second layer, so not 100% sure. That is going to be something up to yourself, whether you need this extra padding. Maybe you've got a small head. My head is rather large, so I'm going to leave them off for now, and then what I'll probably do is experiment with them at a later point. Now, to attach these, if we just go off what's going on, it doesn't help that this picture's black and white and you can't really see what's going on, but I think what you basically do, there's Velcro on this, which this sticks to, but on these extra pads there is Velcro, so basically like the male version of the Velcro, which then sticks in to those pads, and it sort of just gives you a bit of extra padding. So I'm going to leave those off. If anyone's got any recommendations for these pads, let everybody know in the comments below. And we've also got, which I do want to put on, some Velcro bits. So you'll see the lid is completely bare. We have all these little cut out pieces, and you do have to stick these on yourself. So we can do some of those if we want to. Let's try one. I think that's the major back section there, so it would go on like that. So all I would do, and this is a little trick if you're bad at placing stickers and stuff like that, peel a little bit back like so, place it in position like that, and then what you're going to do, it's difficult to film while I'm doing this, what we're going to do here is we're then going to make sure it's in position, make sure the gap's equal on each side, which I think it is. It's not a massive concern because we're going to be covering this up anyway. And then you just press down the section that we peeled back, so you'll see all this stuff still doesn't stick down, but it's placed correctly. We push that side, and then what that means is when we peel this off, we could just trace it round with our fingers and just make sure that it's all pressed down into place. I'm hoping the adhesive is nice and strong on these pads or these Velcro patches, and it's as simple as that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to carry on putting this stuff on, and you might see a little time lapse, you might not, I might cut the video, but I'll get these pads on and then we'll get back to talking about the helmet. Right, I've added all the Velcro. Some of it, I did make a mistake in the beginning, which I put this piece on first, which I wouldn't recommend. I would recommend putting this piece on first because it indexes with this. Go back, do that piece. This piece isn't on super straight, but I was trying to keep it central to this, but which I thought I had done. I was like, why is that off? It could be like everything's canted slightly the way I've done it, but then I've tried to line these front ones up, and they also overlap, so they're like too big for the space that's there. It doesn't really matter in my case because I'm covering this up with a helmet cover. The only reason I've put the Velcro on there is because the helmet cover can actually attach to Velcro that's on the helmet, so it will better secure the helmet cover. That's why I've put it on there. If you're not covering this up, you might want to take your time a little bit with it. Maybe just measure out and draw a line to where the center is, and then you can place it out a little bit easier, but it's fine. It's perfectly adequate. Also in the box we get these little bungee cord deals for like when you're running night vision or anything like that, and to fit those on we actually have to take the side rail off. So what we're going to do that by unscrewing these bolts here, if I can get these off. So we've got one. These are probably going to have an insert behind them to line up with. We'll worry about that when we get to it. And we'll take this off here. So the instructions that actually come with the helmet are non-existent. There's a couple of black and white images which don't really tell you much. It would have been nice even if that was in colour, so you can take a better piece of information from it. So what I'm actually noticing here now is it probably would have been better taking that off and then putting this on. So there's an intermediary piece in here. I'm not entirely sure what that's for. I imagine it might be to grab. Would it be to grab that? I have no idea. Is it just a spacer? Who knows? We don't have any instructions. So I imagine that just slots in behind this piece. There's probably people screaming at me in the watching this now, saying you're doing it wrong. Hey, as long as it goes together, I don't care. It holds a bungee in. If it holds a bungee in, we're good to go. And then we can put these screws or bolts, whatever you want to call them, back into place. I imagine that plastic piece inside it is a spacer or it's some kind of accessory piece. No idea, because there's nothing that came with the helmet to tell me what that's actually for. So we'll screw this on here. So I did actually get sent a helmet a couple of years ago now. I think it was one Tigris. Sent me a Mitch 2000 or something like that. It was a black helmet. It's actually really nice. It was really lightweight. It was comfortable. It's just the Mitch helmets are, well, as far as I'm aware, the Mitch helmets are a bit of a thing of the past. It's a black helmet, so I don't wear black with any of my gear. But I'll keep it. It's up on the wall somewhere. And yeah, I imagine, how do we plug those in? There's a gap there, or maybe, does it really matter where these go? I'm not entirely sure where these go when you're not using them. You would have thought they'd have gone under here, but how they latch into there, I don't know. I don't really want to get it stuck. But where do they go? Maybe we just put them up there, or maybe we just attach them together at the front. That probably makes sense. So for the next one, I'm not going to remove the whole thing. I'm going to remove the front screw, and then I'm going to peel it up, put that piece behind, and that is a much simpler way of doing it. And we can screw this in. I'm not really sure as to what these mounts are on the side of the helmet. If any of you guys out there are clued up on your helmets, let me know, because I would like to get, I do want to get some proper hearing protection, and preferably not the cheap stuff. I don't mind if it's sort of mid-range on the budget. And we can latch these in. I think they go like that when they're not in use, but you have to tell me if I'm wrong. So we've got the spare pads if we need them. Let's get those put away to one side. And there we have it. It's all assembled out the box. We've got the bungees on there. We've got the Velcro on there. You can change the pads and do that if you want to. And that is the PTS MTEK. So this is going to be like a long-term review thing. I can't review this for you straight off the bat. That I can kind of get an inkling with the gun stuff because I'm very well versed on it. But with the helmets, I'm just going to have to use it for a good number of game days, and then let you guys know what I think about it. Now, we've got some extra pieces for this, so stay tuned for the next video. We've got a Agilite helmet cover, which costs more than the helmet, I think, including the postage and stuff. So we've got that to go on there. And then I've also picked up something that I've never delved into before, and it's the first ever thing that I've bought off Novrich's website. but we'll get to that in the third video. So thanks for sticking around. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Get any questions down below, or if you know more information on this personally, make sure you put any information down below so people can find it, because people do scour the comments looking for tips and tricks or anything like that. Check out the links in the description below. If you want to support the channel, you can click the link to buy me a coffee, and a small donation goes a long way. So thank you for that if you do. From me and Bench, as always, we'll see you in part 2.